Hey you're watching a clip from the DynamiteGizmo podcast. This is not the full episode, but if you want to see the full episode, make sure to click the link in the description. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. Do it now. Here's the clip. I want to talk about Michael Venom Page. UFC London is over. And yes, as it would go, as it would seem, I predicted this card to be one of the best we could potentially get all year. And it turned out to be just another weird, kind of bland one. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't fully lock in on every second of it. I had a nice lady over. But I watched it. I saw what I needed to see. And the first thing I want to talk about is MVP versus Sam Patterson. Now, look, let's get this out of the way right now. Sam Patterson is not to blame for this fight. If you didn't watch it, just understand this was one of the most boring fights I've seen in a long time. They circled each other for 3 rounds and maybe threw, 10 strikes total between the two of them? A couple takedown attempts here and there, but nothing even remotely worth watching. Now, here's the thing. Every one of MVP's fights in the UFC so far has gone to decision. But usually, there's something there. There's some grit, some excitement, a knockdown, a near finish, something flashy, something dangerous, something worth watching. But this had none of it. And when you compare that to what he used to be in Bellator, he looks lackluster right now. Straight up, lackluster. Great word, by the way. Even MVP himself said he wasn't impressed with his performance. He said this was his opportunity to show the UFC what he was capable of, even if it wasn't the matchup he wanted. But then you go out there and give us that, and then try to put it on Patterson, saying he wasn't engaging, wasn't falling into the traps? I mean, come on, brother. I get it. That's how MVP fights. He wants guys to bite so he can blitz in and out, but you cannot expect every fighter to play your game. At some point, you have to force the action. MVP is fully to blame here. Yeah, he won. He's now 4-1 in the UFC, but these decision wins, especially ones like this, they don't move you forward. They stall you out. And I'm being dead serious when I say this. We now know MVP has 1 fight left on his contract. He said it himself on Ariel Helwani. If he goes out there one more time and it looks like this again, there's no way in hell the UFC re-signs him. Not a chance. He's 38 years old. He's at the tail end right now. If it's not clicking by this point, that's it. And honestly, this might even explain why the UFC has been slow with him to begin with. Because yeah, as a personality, as an entertainer outside the cage, he's great. The walkouts, the energy, the moments, even the occasional flashy knockdown and dance. But the actual fight results, they all end the same way. Decision wins. And that is not what he brought into the UFC. And that is not what he was brought into the UFC to do. Especially not in this new era where the UFC needs moments, highlights, movement. I'll even say it right now. I regret saying he deserved to be in the co-main event. I was wrong. And I'm happy to say I was wrong. He walked out to They Don't Care About Us by Michael Jackson, and I was with him on that. And I still am to a certain extent. I do think the UFC doesn't really treat their fighters the way that they should, but if you're going to make that kind of statement, then you better go out there and show it. If you can't prove what you're capable of against Sam Patterson, how are you going to prove it against a top 10 guy? Feed MVP to Leon Edwards as soon as possible. That is the fight. Leon is coming off a 3-fight losing streak, lost the belt to Bilal, lost to Brady, lost to Prates. He needs a bounce back. If Leon beats MVP, huge rebound moment. If MVP wins, then finally we see that grand performance he keeps talking about. And at that point, you re-sign him, give him 3 or 4 more fights, see if he can actually build something towards a title run, because right now he's not there. Burns, Bonfim, Buckley, they're all ahead of him, but they're all booked for fights already. Leon is the perfect opening. MVP took no damage in this fight, so get him back in there before the end of the year. Time is ticking. He's already been derailed a bit with those back-to-back middleweight fights that he had and didn't even want. He doesn't have much time to waste. He said his goal is UFC gold. All right, then let's find out if that's real or not. So let me ask you this. Is MVP still a legit contender at welterweight, or has his UFC run already peaked?
Tap here to watch the full episode of the Dynamite Gizmo podcast.